Hello all. Grim here. For those who don't know me, I am the Grim Reapress. I'm a small content creator who's recently started VTubing. For the time being, though, it's just reacting to the show Ruby and doing some game sessions over on Twitch every now and then. Gotta have time to get into the swing of things, you know? But today I'm going to be checking out this demo to a visual novel called Affictionate. I had gotten wind of this by a YouTuber that goes by the name of Kindred Spirit. Let me pull up the website here for his game. So this is Affictionate, a romance visual novel about identity and the line between fiction and reality. So yeah, this guy here, personally, I've only seen his Love and Deep Space videos, so I don't know him too well. But as far as I've seen, he seems like a pretty decent guy, very chill, and is certainly not afraid to show off his good looks. But this is his visual novel that's in the works. You can wishlist it on Steam, or if you prefer, you can show support on Patreon for it. But from the looks of it, it looks pretty interesting. They have a little summary here that says, after a year of bad dates and failed job applications, you've nearly given up on the love story you've always written about. One night, you write your perfect man into a notebook. The next day, he becomes a reality. So it's sounding like a pretty cool concept. It looks like this is the current cast. They're all looking pretty good. They have screenshots here for you to check out, bits of info. If you want to take a closer look at the website, it's Affictionate.com. And this is the man. The man right here and his team, everyone who's worked on it. And I've already gotten the demo on Steam installed here, so I'm about to pull that up. And we are going to see what that's all about. Okay. We have to adjust this a tad. Hopefully I'm not in a terrible spot on the screen, but I can move as needed. Let me go through settings real quick. Full screen. I usually like it up here-ish. Okay, that's something else. Okay, let's go ahead and start. I assume this doesn't have voice acting as far as I've seen. I know the website said there was a little bit in certain parts, so I will do my best to voice the lines, but you know, just fair warning, if my acting is terrible, then I apologize. So before we get started, let's get to know each other a bit. What is your preferred gender? Is it talking about the love interest or me? I'm assuming it's talking about me, so I'm a female. Okay, that's what I meant. Okay, great. The story will now refer to you as she or her. What is your name? It's a pleasure to meet you, Grim Reapress. This is your story. Now that's a cozy bedroom. A sharp buzz of my phone notification cuts through my sleep, dragging me back to the surface. Late afternoon light shines through a gap in my blackout curtains. Napping in the middle of the day. When did I become this messy? I scramble to find my phone amidst the clutter of empty takeout containers, tangled cables, and cans on the bedside table. When I manage to grab it and hold it up to my face, the name Hannah greets me in bright letters on the screen. I hesitate, nearly swiping my thumb toward the red button to hang up. I've been avoiding most of my friends for a while now, but that's not really fair to any of them. Hannah and I have been best friends since we were kids. She doesn't deserve the silent treatment because I'm embarrassed about my life. With a deep breath, I tap the green button and accept the call. Hey, stranger. I feel like I haven't heard from you in forever. I know. I've been kind of in a hole. Sorry. Don't worry about it. I figured you were buried in a new job or something. You laugh awkwardly. Or something. Oof. Any bites at all? Honestly, not really. I've sent out so many applications I've lost count. I can literally see the not viewed status next to half of them. That's the worst. Have you tried calling the places? Like, just to remind them you exist? Nope, that never works, and this is talking from experience myself. When you get the silent treatment, it's an immediate no, so very relatable. I used to. Everyone just told me to be patient. A manager will get to it eventually. Spoiler, they did not. Yeah, they never do. It's annoying. Ugh, that's so frustrating. Right? It's been a real energy drain. Wait, what about rent? Are you doing okay? Yeah, my parents are covering me while I figure it out. Well, that's nice. Okay, that's a relief. I was honestly about to ask if you needed anything. You know I'd help out, right? Even if it's just groceries. I know. Thank you, Hannah. Always. Anyway, putting the job thing aside for a sec. How's living on your own treating you? I glance around my little apartment and wince, as if Hannah were able to see it over the phone. She had come over with housewarming gifts when I first moved in. Everything was neat and tidy at the time. What would she think if she could see it now? I compliment it and just say it just looks very lived in, that's all. Piles of laundry everywhere, relatable. My bookshelves cluttered with manga, old textbooks, and knickknacks. My desk, a collection of worn notebooks, scattered papers sporting my scrawled writings. That's also relatable. And several jars of pencils, pens, and a fancy writing quill that I never use, but somehow has become scraggly and sad. I try not to look up through the doorway to my kitchen, where the dishes are piled visibly high in the sink. Wow. I force another smile and crack out a joking response. Could be worse, beats a dorm room. I guess anything would feel spacious after living like that for so long. Didn't you have like 5 roommates at once? What is with all the relations so far? Like, even me, I've, oh, hi Scott, it's nice to see you there. Like, even me, I have 4 siblings. I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and I grew up having to share a room with all of them. So I definitely know what it's like to live in a tight space. Just for 1 semester, but it was the longest of my life. Oh honey, imagine me having to deal with that for years. I don't know how you got through that. Only by hiding in a corner of the campus library with my manga as often as I could. Fictional characters were so much easier to spend time with than my roommates. I had a lot of studying to do, so I just focused on that. Not that it's doing me much good right now. It feels like it's been so long since I graduated and my life has gone nowhere. Even if it feels that way, I'm sure that's not true. You're just in a transition phase, that's all. My parents have been saying the same thing to me for over a year. This is exactly why I've been avoiding everyone. It's hard to hear the pity in their voices. Makes me feel like even more of a failure. I can't bring myself to respond to her, and the longer the pause stretches, the more awful I feel. Maybe you just need a night out with friends. A couple of us are heading out for dinner later if you'd like to join us. That's actually why I called. We've all missed you. A night without having to think about my situation might be nice. This train wreck of an apartment has been my sanctuary away from the outside world. When I sit down at my desk with my laptop or notebooks, I can lose myself in my writing without having to set foot out my door. That's been the one upside to all this. At least I can write as much as I want now, with no homework, no group projects, and no roommates asking why I'm still up at 3 a.m. Writing has always been my escape hatch. Awards in school, a couple competition placements, just enough validation to make me think I could do it forever. But I ended up choosing the responsible path instead. A real career with a real plan, and look how well that turned out. Yeah, I can feel that too, honestly. These days, the only thing I'm building is fictional worlds where I actually have my shit together. But I also haven't seen any of my friends in far too long. The longer that I avoid them, the harder it will be to see them again in the future. What am I even afraid of? None of my friends are going to judge me. That might be nice, actually. Honestly, it'd probably do me good to get me out and get some fresh air. What are you guys doing? Or, where are you guys going? It's this cute little gastropub that opened about a month ago. It's family owned and is just dripping with atmosphere. Here, I'll send you the directions. Table and Ember. Got it, thanks. See you there at 5. We say our goodbyes and end the call. I'm left sitting on my sofa and staring blearily around me. From across the room, I see my reflection in a wall mirror that came with the place. I look perfectly at home in the mess around me. My hair is falling out of the loose knot I tied up this morning. My eyes look heavy and bored. And the pajamas I've been in all day are stained with both coffee and ketchup from my last 2 meals. I feel sickened at the thought of any of my friends walking through the door and see me like this. I get up from the sofa and head to the bathroom to make myself presentable. Getting ready takes longer than it should because every step feels like I'm gearing up for battle. By the time I'm out the door, I almost feel like a functioning human being. Almost. Getting here took a bit longer than I expected, but the rustic charm wins me over fast. It's the kind of place where you can take your family but still order margaritas, which I was told are a must-have. The atmosphere blended nostalgic familiarity with a modern edge. The perfect example of this was the wall of exposed brick and hanging greenery in the waiting area. The faux vintage display came with the remote to adjust the lighting for the perfect social media photos. Once we were all there, it was the perfect icebreaker to gather in close and snap a picture. We were gonna have fun tonight, no matter what troubles we brought with us. Despite that, I still dreaded conversation with any of them. I knew at some point they'd realize that I didn't have anything meaningful to talk about like they did. At least, that's what I thought until Hannah started talking about deja vu and multiverses. Hannah can be a bit ditzy sometimes, but her uplifting energy really is captivating. Okay, listen, I'm serious. Deja vu could literally just be different timelines intersecting for like a few seconds. I saw a guy explaining it on TikTok. That's cute. That's why it's so freaky and no one can explain it. Do you realize how impossible it would be for a new universe to spring into existence based on the choices of every person on the planet? That's way too many. Isn't that why they say there'd be infinite timelines? Just like a crazy forever amount? That's why it's such a phenomenal idea, though. It literally blows your mind if you think about it for too long. If you put on your sandals instead of your sneakers, that means another version of you who did choose the sneakers is out there somewhere. If there were more than one universe, I doubt random people's choices would decide when a whole timeline gets created. It seems more likely that each timeline would be made of entirely different people. I don't think our choices matter in the grand scheme of things. We're shaped by the choices we make. If you'd taken a different path in life, who's to say you'd still be the same you? Otherwise, it's like every person on Earth is playing God every day without even knowing it, just by making choices they aren't even thinking about. I mean, yeah, I can kind of see where they're coming from on that. That's what I mean. The weight of every choice is so far beyond anything we can comprehend, just like the number of timelines or universes that might be out there. This is why you're a social media manager and not an educator, selling grand concepts based on emotion instead of facts. You teach high school band, Jordan. Get off your high horse. There are a lot of facts that go into managing social media for a major corporation, I'll tell you that much. It's much more involved than you think. So is high school band. Hey, you haven't chimed in on this whole discussion. Do you have any theories on deja vu? Yeah, do you think there's another version of you out there who believes Hannah's theory? Oh, shut up. It's not my theory. I'm just repeating what I heard. But yeah, what do you think? I've never really thought about it. It does seem really far-fetched, but it's a neat concept. Maybe there's a version of me out there who found a good job right out of college. There, I did it. I mentioned it before anyone else could. I knew it was going to happen at some point, so while listening to them all talk, I decided to be the one to bring it up in my own time. While they were talking, I was already on my second margarita, which kind of helped me gather some courage. That's comfort food for you. Wait, you have a job, don't you? I thought you were all lined up with some company before you graduated. I thought so too. They told me I had a promising future and that I should come in for an interview once I was done with school. I've heard that line before. Jordan, you're such a pessimist. I just keep things real. That's not the same thing. You're a stick in the mud either way. Are you this drab around all your bright-eyed high school students? Most of them have bad attitudes and misery complexes. I'm the teacher who gets them and listens to what they have to say. I can see how you're doing well in that job. I wish I could find a career as fulfilling as that. When I went in to interview for my dream job, oh god, the alcohol that gave me liquid courage earlier is really not helping me keep from dragging the mood down. It came down to me and one other applicant. A few weeks later, they emailed me to say they went with the other guy. That's so awful. It sounds like they led you on and then backstabbed you as soon as they could. Sounds like my ex-boyfriend. That's rough. I told you not to date an e-boy. But he had the cutest piercings and the sluttiest little waist. Can you two get a grip already? Our friend is in crisis here. I'm really sorry that happened, but that's kind of what you need to expect from big companies. Yep, I couldn't agree more, honestly. I wasn't interested in that kind of job myself, but I hear that the competition can be ruthless. Didn't you have a second and third job option lined up just in case? I did, but both of them fell through too. So lower your standards. I've tried. I've applied to tons of jobs lower on the food chain. I don't have a problem working somewhere I'm overqualified for, but I can't even land an interview at a convenience store. It's been like this all year. I think my standards have hit rock bottom. Just like Jordan's. Hey now, you take that back. Peter is the greatest person I've ever dated. He really is the love of my life. I meant the e-boy before Peter. Well, okay then. Yeah, if anyone lowered their dating standards and found true happiness, it's you. Isn't that right, Hannah, my lovely queen? Oh, Mark, don't sell yourself so short. You always met most of my standards anyway. All you had to do was get a decent haircut to win me over in the end. I feel a sudden drop in my chest, like all the air has been sucked out of my lungs. My eyes dart in disbelief to Hannah and Mark as they clasp hands on the tabletop. They look at each other sweetly, and as they do, the situation I find myself in finally dawns on me, crushing any of my remaining optimism. Wait, Jordan has a new boyfriend? And Hannah and Mark, you two are... I wore her down just like I said it would in school. That's such a terrible thing to say. You proved yourself and I wanted you. End of story. The gloominess I'd been fighting all day evaporates, and in its place, an alcohol-fueled frustration floods every corner of my being. Along with the sadness, my dignity leaves me as well. I pick up the margarita I had left on the table, and in one long swig, I down it all. I almost choke, coughing over the powerful sting of the alcohol in my throat. I see my friends staring at me with astonishment through my watery eyes. Hannah quickly flaps a napkin in front of my face, which I take and press to my eyes. I know I'm going to regret this in the morning, but the thought doesn't cross me at the time. After which, Jordan immediately shoves a slice of the free herb bread into my hand, telling me it will help. I tear into it angrily with my teeth, swallowing a hard chunk that I hadn't chewed well enough, and fall into another short coughing fit. Are you serious? You're telling me that you two are now dating and Jordan managed to find someone willing to swallow his sour mood all the time? Come on, that's mean. What's the big deal? So what if we did? That never stopped my boyfriends from coming back for seconds, you know. A slight buzzing starts in my ears, and the world fuzzes before my eyes for a second. My friends' reactions only make me feel even more miserable about the state I let myself get. At this moment, I don't care about hiding anything. I don't care about how I look or sound. I'm like a train wreck, and all I can do is just let myself go. I can't find a job. I live off my parents' money all year. I've been rejected from every damn place I've applied, and the cherry on top is being the only single one in our friend group. Not before Mark. Oh, nice. I thought you could offer Jordan again. It's nice to be included. Same here. I know I'll feel like a horrible friend tomorrow, but right now all I can think about is how I'm falling apart in front of everyone and can't keep the pieces together. You know what the worst part is? In every story I've ever written, at least the main character has someone. Even the ones in apocalypses. But I don't even have anyone to starve with. Honey, listen, I know you're going through a rough patch right now, but haven't you dumped like a lot of guys in the last few years? She's right. Maybe if you'd settled like her and Mark, you would be starving with someone right now. Yeah. Wait, excuse me? That's not what I meant, babe. I swear, it's not my fault that I had such bad luck with men. I don't think that's it, honey. What? You know you dumped a few of them for some pretty dumb, petty reasons. I did not. Didn't you say that one of the guys you dated chewed too loudly? Okay, that is kind of silly. It was like sitting next to a chainsaw. And that other guy annoyed you because he used finger guns every time he agreed with something. There was also the one who liked his food super bland. Listen, the more they point out the reasons my past relationships didn't work out, the harder the truth becomes to deny. Oh, don't forget the one who vaped. And that dude who tried to convince you that birds weren't real. Actually, yeah, dodged a bullet with that one. This coming from the girl who believes in multiverses. I didn't say I believed in them, I just thought it was a cool theory. Birds not really being real is a pretty cool theory too. You guys don't get it. I want someone who's a hopeless romantic. Someone whose love can be felt in all of their actions, from big gestures and love languages to the small things in day-to-day life. Why is romance dead? Can't a man just eat delicately, cook something zesty, or God forbid, at least smoke like a king instead of vaping? There's a short, awkward pause after I fall into a pout and sip at the last remaining drops of my margarita again. I'm probably being unreasonable right now, but with all this frustration, I just need a way to let off some steam. This is one of the perks of being in a group of friends for over a decade. I know they won't take this to heart, but they'll still give me the truth, as bitter as it might taste. Listen, Grim, we all know how hard it is being single. Sometimes it's no big deal, and other times it hurts like hell being alone. But maybe if you keep an open mind, you'll be able to find someone who will care for you as much as you do for them. I know he's trying to comfort me, but I'm not in the mood. The cork on my self-pity was popped right off, and there was no putting the toothpaste back in the tube. I frown at Jordan and defiantly try to take another sip of my now empty drink. Hannah chimes in. Have you thought about calling up any of your exes that you might, I don't know, be able to tolerate? Since you're that desperate anyway? She is lacking romance, Hannah, remember? It's so overrated in the long term, Grim. No, it's not. It's nice sometimes, but too much of it makes it less special. That's why Mark and I are doing so well. Yeah, but at the same time, everyone's different. There's nothing wrong with wanting a little spice, you know? Wow, thanks, babe. Anytime. See how adorable you are together? It's not fair. Where did I go wrong? We've been trying to tell you, but you're not really listening at this point. Somewhere in my mind, I hear and believe Jordan, but right now, it's much easier to drown out the truth and self-pity. I'm starting to feel the sharp edges of my frustration smooth the way into the dull ache in my head and chest. My friends are still trying to comfort me, even pitching guys they know. But after all that, the alcohol is really starting to creep up on me. I stand up from the table too quickly, and the floor seems to tilt beneath me. I clutch the corner of the table for balance as my words come out more slurred than I expected. I'm going home now. Aw, geez, I knew you downed those margaritas way too fast. Can you even get home by yourself? My heart sinks even lower. When I ordered the drinks, I thought I'd be staying at the restaurant long enough for it to wear off. Now here I was, drunk, annoyed, and at the mercy of my friends. I surrender and shake my head pitifully. Pitifully? Is that what I said? I think that must be a spelling error. I could be wrong though. It's probably not a good idea. Don't worry about it, I'll give you a lift. Mark and I came here together, so we can just stop by your place and then he can take me home. Sure can. Come on, let's go. I'm sorry that things are rough right now, Grim, but it was still nice seeing you after so long. If things get any worse, you can count on us to be there for you. Thanks, Jordan. Good seeing you too. Tell Peter I said hi. I will. Goodbye. Bye. As I ride in the passenger seat of their car, Fess pressed against the cool glass of the window, I reflect on where I went wrong. Isn't it better to cut your losses early than suffer through a relationship that won't make you happy in the long run? Should I really lower my standards or just accept being single anyway? I'm not hideous enough to scare men away, and not hot enough to intimidate them either. Being average looking was never the issue. I've always been the type to set a goal and go after it. Well, until recently. My imagination is my greatest pride, and if anyone took the time to read my writing these days, they'd see that. Oh, how relatable this sentence alone is for me. Like, even for me personally, I feel like I speak best through writing. Because, like, for the longest time, I struggled with socializing in person. But, like, I could, like, type or text just fine and communicate that way. It really felt safe to me, you know? It was hard to use my voice. I shift in my seat as the foggiest wisp of an idea tries to form in my head. I haven't let anyone see my writing in so long. It mostly consists of spicy romance tales or complex fantasy world building. I've been writing just for myself. That's really the best thing that any writer can do at this point. Just write for themselves. Whatever makes you yourself personally happy, that's what you write. And that's what I always advise others too, who are just getting started. I can't decide if that's a personal victory or another failure. I make Hannah drop me off in the front of the building. She wanted to walk me to my door, but even as drunk as I am, I wasn't going to let her see the state my place was in. I stumble through the door, clumsily locking it behind me and kicking off my shoes. Now that I'm back in my own space, I just want to get out of these clothes and into something soft and comforting. I leave a trail of shed clothing to the bathroom where I wash up in the sink. As I dry my face, I pause and stare into my own eyes in the mirror for a long time. It's uncomfortable. I don't even know why I'm doing it. Searching for something, maybe. Like the answers to all my problems are somehow hidden away inside myself. Maybe if I just look deep enough, I'll find them. I break from my own tired gaze, drop the damp towel on the counter, and leave the bathroom. I rummage through a basket of clean laundry in my bedroom. I'd folded everything when I put them in there, but after picking through it for clothes all week, everything was a disheveled mess. I extract a set of cotton pajamas and slip into them. They might be a little wrinkled, but they're still soft and smell fresh. As I stand back up to button the shirt in the front, I catch my reflection in my dresser mirror. Even with a scowl engraved on my face, pajamas like this made anyone look cute. I do look cute. Adorable, even. If I had a boyfriend right now, I'd send him a selfie. Or if he was living with me, I'd cuddle up to him. Or I'd groan loudly and fling myself onto my bed, squeezing a pillow to my chest and curling around it. Even cuddling in real life hadn't been as romantic as it was in books. Curling up with a book or a dating sim on my phone was way more comfortable. Was there anything that was as good in real life as in my digital and paper fantasies? All the guys I dated and dumped through my college days start parading in my memory. Sure, they'd all been complimented my looks in one way or another, but had any of them been romantic about it? A romantic man would see me in these pajamas and gush about how soft and huggable they made me. A romantic man wouldn't just look me up and down and say, "You look good, babe," but instead he would yearn for me. Did I ever get more than that from any of them? Something as intimate and special as being in a relationship needs to be adored and romanticized to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, it's not special at all. That's why in the end, none of them were the one. I sit up in bed and glance at the rows of manga on the little bookshelf by my bed. The best men in my life came from between those pages. And when the books weren't enough, there were games with even more guys to choose from. The men in love and freak space and and you obey. That's Obey Me. I know that one too. Oh my gosh. Were so amazing in many ways, giving me all I could ever ask for in regular men. Definitely understand. I've played both. They were bursting with passion and romance in so many ways, and in so many stories they didn't even know it. That only made them all the more charming. My eyes travel along the spines of the books, lovingly reading the familiar titles and being filled with sparks of affection for each and every one. That's when I declare, heated and still a bit drunk, to my empty apartment. I'm done with Roman forever. 2D men are all I ever need. It's like a cleansing of my soul to let out the words. I feel instantly better as the resolve takes a hold of me. I spring up from my bed and head straight for the desks across the room. I pluck a fresh notebook from the dwindling pile and snatch my favorite pen from the jar. I whirl around to face the whole of my bedroom, and once again I declare it out loud. If I can't find a romantic man in real life, I'll just have to write my own. I'd written plenty of steamy romance in the past, but never one specifically meant for me. A man tailored to my whims. Not the love interest that I always flung at them as a clumsy self-insert, but me, as I am, with none of my traits idealized or imagined away. No. This man that I was about to write into existence, he would be mine alone, and he would give me everything that I needed. But that seems like a very long list, so I should probably narrow it down. The first step in writing anything is inspiration. What kind of man do I think would be the best for me? Damaged bad boy, Omegaverse alpha, rich yandere daddy. Okay. So I guess we just have this one for the demo. The damaged bad boy. The glossy cover of a men's catalog for my junk mail pile catches my eye. Perfect. They always pick the best models for men's clothing. Even the older guys are total dilfs. grab the catalog and bring it back to my desk. Flipping through the pages, I scan the different models and their poses and outfits. They all look good in their own ways, but none of them inspire me the way I need. The farther into the catalog I go, the more desperate I get to find the right man. Then, toward the back of the entire catalog, just before all the underwear and socks, I see him. A buff guy with slicked black back hair has one artful strand swooping across his strong brow. There are 2 photos of him. In one, he wears a tight black compression shirt, a jacket slung almost out of sight over his muscular shoulder. But the bigger photo, that's the one that gets me. Hands in his pockets, wearing the jacket they're actually trying to sell. I can almost smell the black leather through the page, feel the smooth, rich glide of the sexiest material a man could ever wear. I lift my eyes to meet his in the photo. His eyes squint piercingly into mine above the edge of his aviators. The slight, pouty sneer on his full lips gives off the perfect get-lost attitude. I can see it clearly just from that one image. I know exactly what I want. I bite my lip as a flood of desire washes over my body. And let's be honest, it didn't take much these days after being single for so long. I steady my shaking fingers, flip open the brand new notebook, and ready my pen to write. I stare at the model in the catalog and picture a slightly different version of the real-life man behind him. I was done with actual men after all. I close my eyes and form him in my mind. He looked just as tall and buff as the model, only with darker hair and bluer eyes. The model has freckles, but I want them gone. They're too cute for the guy I'm picturing. No, this guy's skin is lightly tanned from riding his motorcycle. His hands are rough, a working man's hands. I can imagine what those hands feel like over my body, and I squeeze my thighs together, my imagination still running wild with the details. His clothes are far rougher and more worn than the pristine outfit given to the model. His jeans are thin at the knees, covered in stubborn oil stains in a few places. His t-shirt was equally stained, but that leather jacket was pristine. I think about how nice and warm it would be to slide my arms into that jacket with him while I hug him on a cold night. Maybe after a ride on his motorcycle leaves me chilly and needing this warmth. I imagine all sorts of things about him. Some I write down, others I don't have time to describe before my vision begins to swim. The world seems to tilt gently onto its side, and I slide with it, not even fully aware of what's happening before everything goes dark. Coming back to myself isn't great. My temples are throbbing like someone's flicking me between the eyes. My stomach feels like it's twisting itself, and all my limbs are numb while somehow sore at the same time. I lift my head and my cheek peels away from the paper of my notebook, somewhat stuck to my face. I must have fallen asleep face first in my own writing. I can almost taste the ink that's been smeared across the page by my own drool. Gross. Slowly regaining my focus, I squint down on the page I was writing. My writing is nothing more than a mess of blurry lines. I even spot a poor attempt at artwork. I think I've been trying to sketch a pair of alluring eyes, but in the harsh light of morning, it's like an alien crossbred with a K-pop star that's been slightly microwaved. I groan the words aloud to really hammer home the point that I shouldn't write or sketch while drunk. I can vaguely remember what I wrote, but right now there are more immediate priorities. My body feels heavy as I pull myself away from the desk and stagger into the bathroom to wash up. After a long, hot shower, I make coffee strong enough to wake the dead and slump into a kitchen chair. It feels like every drop takes an eternity as my temples keep pounding. I reach for the water cooler and the painkillers in the center of the table. I force myself to choke down a biscuit left in a half-empty package, just to give the meds something to work with. The first cup is always black. Cream and sugar come later, once I feel like a person again. As I sit there alone in my kitchen, my headache slowly subsiding and the nausea easing just enough for me to relax, I face another discomfort. While my body slowly recovers from the night before, my mind is examining it too. It's just as harsh as the effects of too much alcohol for someone who hasn't drunk in a while. My friend's words play over a few times, and my reaction shifts slightly with each repetition. The first time, I'm hurt that they were so blunt with me. The second time, I try to pretend it doesn't matter and that they're wrong. By the third time, I'm annoyed at myself for starting to agree with them. Maybe I should stop being so picky and expecting a Prince Charming to ride in on a white horse and sweep me off my feet. At the time, those little things seems like make it or break it factors, but now, maybe I was a bit mean with my ex who chewed loudly. A new resolve claws its way through my hangover. I'll prove everyone wrong, even myself. I can find someone without nitpicking every little turn off. I finish my coffee and steady myself, then pull out my phone. Doing what any sensible adult does when life feels a little too empty. I download a dating app. Oh no. No, 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 no. Dating apps are a no-no. Oh boy. Sorry, I just needed a drink. Dating apps never work. They're fake. They're fake, 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 fake. I spend the rest of the morning and fine. A good part of the afternoon, sobering up and trying to make my profile look like it belongs to a functioning human being. I pick the best photos I can find of myself, the ones where I look mildly put together, and I try to write something that sounds interesting. After 3 drafts that make me sound like a hostage writing a ransom note about myself, I give up on sincerity and go with chronically single, sleep-deprived writer looking for someone who's not a murderer. Funny is easier than honest, always has been. I may enjoy writing as a hobby, but trying to sell my own personality feels like assembling furniture without the manual. As soon as I'm satisfied with the photos and details, my job is done. I place my phone down on the table, stretch, and let out a groan. I don't know if I feel good about it or not. As I look around the kitchen, I start to realize the problem. There are dishes piled in the sink, and on the counter, empty food containers strewn about, and the trash bin is overflowing. From there, my eyes move to the main living room, with its own share of the mess that continues all the way into my bedroom. Even with my body putting up a fight, I force myself step by step to start making sense of the chaos. I've let myself go, but cleaning my apartment through the hangover feels like slowly taking control again. If I'm gonna try to get my life in order, this is a good start. I make it as far as loading the dishwasher and tossing all my trash before my phone starts chiming. Whether or not I did a good enough job with my profile, the guys don't seem to care. I'm surprised to start getting matches within hours. With nothing better to do than to recover from last night's embarrassment, I spend the rest of the day casually messaging several prospective dates while I continue making sense of the mess in my apartment. At least messaging whenever I wasn't instantly blocking guys who opened a convo with their dick pics or requests for nudes. Yeah. We don't want any of that. Although I'm a bit apprehensive at first, the ones who chat back seem to have good intentions and are actually pretty nice to talk to. After a while, I feel a little tug of hope in my chest that this might actually be a good idea. Trust me, it's not. And I'm almost positive you're about to find out soon. Very fast. To my surprise, there is one man I click with over our love of a manga series, and he is in my general area. A bit of a drive away, but still closer than I would have expected. He isn't bad looking, I tell myself, so I decide to see where this goes. I even start smiling and giggling along with some of his comments, agreeing with points he makes about manga and ignoring other messages just to keep chatting with him. Maybe this won't be so bad after all. A call came in while I was in the middle of reading a message, a pile of clothes in my arms. It was Hannah again. Hey Hannah. Hey there Grim, just thought I'd call and check up on you after last night. You doing okay? I am now, yeah. Got sobered up with a lot of coffee and something to eat. Well, that's a relief. I was worried that we'd upset you too much. I'm sorry if we made you feel miserable. I wanted to jokingly agree, but I knew that wouldn't be fair. I went back to gathering clothes and towels around the apartment that needed to go into the wash while we continued to talk on speaker. No, you were all pretty spot on about everything. Don't worry, I'm doing better, I promise. Are you sure? You're not just trying to get me off the phone so you can cry into your pillow, right? Got all of that out of the way last night, actually. It's a new day, or night by now, so I decided it couldn't hurt to try out a dating app. Just to see what happens. Hannah, if you don't tell this woman to stop what they're doing, I will end you. So that's what I've been doing. Oh, no, Hannah, you're supposed to disagree. Oh, I think that's a great idea. Thanks for not making fun of me over it. I would never. You haven't cast your net out in a while. I think it's long overdue. Thanks. I already have a couple matches. It's actually been nice to talk to a guy. Dating app is not the solution, I'm telling you. You should be just going out in person. Or, well, I guess I'm not really one to talk because I met my husband in an MMO, but still. Better than a dating app. Those never work. That's cool. Not everyone connects so fast. I don't know if we connected so much as we've been finding things in common. He even lives pretty close by. Oh, he actually just messaged me and asked if I want to meet up. Wow, this guy works fast. Are you gonna take him up on it? I don't know, we just started talking. Have you enjoyed it? Well, yeah, I think so. Then you should try talking to him face to face. Find out if he can carry a conversation in real life and not just through messages. If you still like talking to him, then it's at least worth trying for a bit. I guess that makes sense. Can't find out if I don't just go for it. That's the spirit. Just make sure he doesn't take you anywhere shady. I'll do my best. I'll tell him yes right now. I don't want to get too excited for you too quickly, but I really do hope this is a good thing for you. If nothing else, maybe he'll end up being a good friend. Just the idea of having to friend zone another boyfriend is enough to cause some anxiety, but I try to stay optimistic. At least if we don't work out, I know there's no one else in my friend group for him to date since you're all together now. Sorry, that was an awkward way to find out. I guess you haven't been on socials much. We've all been posting together as a couple for a while, so we just thought you knew. I mentally rolled my eyes. I literally brought this on myself, didn't I? Socials have just made everything else harder, so I haven't paid much attention. Sorry for acting like that. Don't worry about it. Now you know, and hey, you might be on your way to joining us all in a couple's bliss. I'm actually curious to see Jordan displaying any kind of emotion regardless. I'd like to meet his boyfriend sometime. He's like a different person, I swear. Not in a huge way, but seriously. It's like his aura just completely lights up and glows when he's around Peter. And what about Mark? Is he a completely different person around you now? Oh no, he's still an airhead, but now he calls me babe. I smile softly, but a creeping loneliness seeps into my chest. I swallow it down. I won't let it get in the way of being happy for my friends. Just so long as you're both treating each other right. Of course we are. It's easier for us to be together since we've known each other since middle school. I thought that would be an obstacle, but no. Turns out when you know someone that long, you really know them. True, you always knew about the fan fictions I wrote all through school instead of paying attention in class. And you know all about the fan fiction I commissioned from you too. I still have that notebook tucked on a shelf somewhere. I thought it was so naughty, but really it wasn't as graphic as what I write these days. Speaking of, how's your writing going anyway? Ever think about making it your career or even side gig or something? You were always so talented. I've thought about it, but no, I just write for myself. If you say so, I think a lot of people would pay for some spicy romance when it's tastefully well written. Perhaps something to fall back on? Usually it's the other way around with a creative passion and a corporate position. Life is just weird right now. I understand. Hey, you just go on that date, meet this guy, and see where it goes. Don't forget to tell me all about it afterwards. If you don't hear from me, just assume I was murdered. Or that it went poorly. Don't even joke about that. How about you text me the address when you know where you're going? Just to be sure. Once I know, you'll know. I have to go. Mark couldn't get my attention, so he bet himself that he could jump from the sofa in the living room to the kitchen counter. I gotta go make sure he's okay, because if he broke something, I'm the one who has to explain to the paramedics why my boyfriend thought he could fly. In the background, I hear Mark say, "It's all good, babe. You better take care of that. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for checking up on me." Of course. Bye-bye. I hang up the phone and instantly pull up the messages I'd missed. A few more little bits of info about his job, his schedule, and when he would be the best time to meet. To my surprise, he asked me if tomorrow night was too soon to go out for a drink. I tapped my finger on the side of the phone for a moment or two, wondering if it was too good to be true or too soon to be good. To his credit, he hadn't pestered me about it since asking the question, and had been waiting for me to answer. I message him back with a yes, and he takes a few moments more to send a smiley face and a heart. I feel an all too familiar twinge of nervous excitement at the text commitment, that glimmer of expectation and hope of what could be. I give myself the little pep talk as I continue to chat with the mystery guy into the night, in between organizing clothes and cleaning out the fridge. He manages to keep my interest enough that I eventually agree to meet him at a bar he suggests, tomorrow around dinner time. None of our conversation is too flowery or too clunky. It seemed to flow well. We learned a bit about each other, talked more about music and shows that we enjoyed, had a few little disagreements about minor things. It felt normal, harmless even. I tried to say that was fine, but I was also hoping that he'd start flirting with me when we met in person. When the conversation naturally wound down, we said our goodnights, I set my phone aside and headed to my desk. Writing with pen and paper would take too long tonight, so I opened my laptop and dove right into an unfinished romance story that I'd started a few weeks back. I had run out of steam on it, but now steam was all I had. I poured all of it into the blank page. Passion, rampant desire, declarations of love worthy of a Hallmark movie. All of the good stuff that flooded my brain with that sweet, sweet dopamine. I fall asleep that night in a more pleasant mood than I'd been in for a while and wake up feeling even better. I passed the day finishing the cleaning I'd started yesterday. Oops. Scrubbing, dusting, vacuuming, and excavating the beautiful apartment I've let drown beneath my neglect. For the first time in weeks, I feel like I can rest easier in the newly cleaned space. If I do have the chance to bring a guy back here, at least now I won't be ashamed of it. Having finished all of the work, I finally checked my messages after turning off notifications. I've had other guys messaging me even after I went to sleep. My mystery guy sends me a good morning text and the address for our date spot. It isn't too far away, but it's slightly outside my usual driving radius. Not that I've been going anywhere lately. The rest of the day goes by in a calm span of hours spent writing, reading manga, and catching up on a show I've lost track of. As the afternoon starts shifting into evening, the anticipation begins to creep in. I go through my closet, hunting down an outfit to wear to my date. It looks like we're going to a bar, so it's not as if the dress code matters much. I could easily just throw on a sweater and jeans and be done with it, but it's been so long since I've really dressed up. Longer still since I've gone for a look meant to knock it out of the park. Nothing wrong with going overboard once in a while. Gorgeous black dress and makeup. Fancy blazer and stylish black button shirt. I'd probably do this one. I'm more into this kind of style. I choose a black blazer and matching black button shirt. This had been my old reliable throughout weddings, parties, and even a few job interviews. Wow, really? The same thing? With that price tag as well, it had better. It's made of linen, which the salesperson told me was very fancy. This plus a nice watch, and you had me looking more presentable than I had been in weeks. When I go into the bathroom to wash my face and start working on my hair, it feels like months since I've used any of these products. Even yesterday, I didn't put in half this much effort, and that was just dinner out with friends. Right now, I want to look stunning. If this guy has any taste, he'll appreciate how much work I'm putting in for him. Maybe he'll even throw a compliment or two in my way. So far, he hasn't brought up my looks at all. I mean, props to him for not being shallow, but tonight I'm getting dressed with every intention of being trouble. The kind of trouble a man doesn't recover from easily. Hairstyling finally complete, I check the time and slip on my shoes. After a while, I give myself one last once-over in the mirror by the door. I haven't looked or felt this sexy in a long time. It feels good to have a reason to look my best. After checking that I have my phone, keys, and everything I need, I'm finally ready to head out to my first date in over a year. Aftertaste. He calls it a bar, but it's more of a club or pub. Aftertaste is quite the name for that. The number of motorcycles parked out front is a bit unsettling, as if the location in the back end of the city isn't enough already. It's not exactly the cozy first date spot I've been picturing. Normally, I'm more partial to cafes or even quiet little wine bars. Literally anywhere that doesn't feel like a fight could break out any second, or where someone might be doing hard drugs in the restroom. Through the hazy fog on the windows, I can see how packed the place is. The dim neon lights inside barely illuminate the vague shapes of the bar patrons, but I can still make out a sea of people. Loud laughter and cheers break out occasionally, sometimes in overlapping waves that hit my ears all at once. I tell myself not to judge. All kinds of people like places with character. That doesn't mean anything is going to happen to me. All the same, I snap a quick picture of the entrance and send it to Hannah. If I go missing, this is my last known location. I tuck my phone back into my clutch quickly and take a cleansing breath. The air has a faint smell of cigarettes. I feel ridiculous standing in front of this place dressed like I'm going somewhere the waiters grind the pepper at the table. I regret not staying in my cab until I confirmed my mystery guy was here too. Torn between waiting for another cab or heading into the brighter interior of the bar, I check my phone. No new messages yet, just the last one he sent. Meet you at 8, you'll love this place. Promise. Last seen 2 hours ago. I'm trying to, I really am, but that message is from 2 hours ago. Even though he's a complete stranger, I'd still feel safer not being here alone. But I'm not about to turn right around and head home after putting in so much effort. I swallow hard, pull my shoulders back, and remind myself why I'm here. I've got something to prove. I can be flexible, I can try new things. I'm already in the thick of it anyway. The sound only intensifies once I'm inside. A few people dance to the music, others sit at scattered tables, and off to the side, there's a pool table and the bar. After the initial shock hits me, I start to feel the vibe this place gives off. Plates of hot wings and barbecue sliders pass by on their way to the booths, and combined with the music, it makes for a surprisingly lively atmosphere. The bartender glances at me with the practiced indifference of someone who's seen every flavor of human being walk through the door. I still feel horribly self-conscious, so I turn my eyes to scan for a place to sit. I spot a booth near the wall. Safer, less visible, maybe the best choice to ease myself into this place. Before I claim it, I check my phone. It's only 8:05 p.m. I'm probably just too early. Ignoring a few stares, I bravely approach the bar and order a soda, not wanting to drink by myself so early in the night. When I slide into the booth, the seat squeaks underneath. My blazer and fancy shirt feels completely out of place for where I am. I message my date to assure him that I'm here and waiting. No response. I fidget with my glass and take tiny sips just to look like a contributing member of this establishment. As time passes, I trace patterns in the condensation on the outside of my glass. A few more people leave and enter the bar, none of whom approach me or look anything like the guy in the profile picture. Eventually, I order another soda and keep waiting. 8:25 p.m. Maybe he's caught at work, but you'd think he'd let me know. 9 p.m. I check my phone again, even though it hasn't buzzed once. Nothing. No sorry, running late, not even a lame excuse like my horoscope warned me it's a stay inside or die kind of day. I take anything just to know I haven't been forgotten. I keep telling myself to stay positive even now. Maybe he lost his phone, but then again, he could still meet me without it. Are you sure about that? 9:15 p.m. The bartender surprises me by waving me over to the bar. He only wants to refill my soda without me asking. The pity refill is never a good sign, and it only makes me feel worse instead of comforted. I still take it and sip on it anyway, my hopes slipping away with every passing moment. Faces come and go around me, groups, couples, regulars trading back slaps and inside jokes. I never thought I'd want to be part of the heartbeat in a place like this, but sitting here alone, surrounded by laughter and noise, it only reminds me of how alone and out of place I am. That's it, I need a drink. Finally done with the sodas, I march up to the bar. The bartender prepares my request without a comment. I keep watching the door as he slides me a Sex on the Beach cocktail. The vinyl booth sighs beneath me as I shift him across my legs. What am I still doing here? I've been stood up. I can't fool myself any longer. Real men really aren't worth the time. The reality settles over me like a bucket of cold water, a dull ache blooming in my chest. I stare at the untouched ice melting at the bottom of my glass, thinking about all the effort I've wasted. I've come to terms with the fact that I have some personal growing to do. Maybe being single is more my problem than the men I've dumped. But this is the first time I've genuinely tried in so long, and this is how it ends. I refuse to publicly wallow in my misery any longer. I'm already prepared to drown myself in romance manga when I get home to ease the sting. Taking out my phone, I start pulling up an app to schedule a ride home, annoyed at myself for not doing this earlier. Before I can, however, a shadow falls over me. I look up thinking it's the bartender coming over to kick me out or give me another pity drink. But the words die in my throat the second I see who's actually standing there. Standing over me is a, whoa, this guy is huge, both in the tall and broad kind of sense. Yeah, he kind of is now that I see it like this. Oh, of course they just go with the close-up. His shirt is doing him zero favors, or maybe that's the point, judging by the confident look on his face. It's tight enough to leave nothing to the imagination, and because I'm sitting down, it's all right at eye level. Once I realize my eyes went straight for his chest and I haven't even looked at his face yet, I snap out of it. When I finally look up, he's already smirking. So that answers whether he noticed. I try very hard to maintain eye contact and not let my gaze drop to where his shirt is clinging for dear life across his chest. That's when I notice the slit through his eyebrow and the single earring in his right ear. His ink black hair is straight, silky, and long enough to be tousled away from his face. And he opens those full, smirking lips to talk to me.
Well, now, aren't you dressed to impress?
Oh, he talks! Okay. Okay. Rhett, his name is.
You get lost in your way somewhere.
He has a very deep voice, too. Goddamn. Okay, that's kind of corny, but after the night I've had, corny feels like poetry. His voice has a low, rough grain to it. I just stare at him, frozen. I can't remember the last time someone looked at me so boldly, with that kind of slightly mischievous heat behind their expression. Can I help you? It comes out sharper than I intend, but tonight I'm out of warm welcomes. His smoldering grin widens, completely brushing past the acid in my voice. Without an invitation, he casually slides into the booth across from me. The leather creaks as he props his elbows on the table, leaning to the side with his chin resting in his hand.
You look like you had a rough night.
I keep getting caught off guard by the sudden voicing, because I've been talking all this time. But I might have to turn down the music some to actually hear him better. Do it like this.
Let me guess. Either someone made a terrible mistake tonight, or you didn't plan on coming here alone.
Okay, so this wasn't the dating app guy she was talking to then, from what it sounds like. Yeah, my date ended up ghosting me. I'm instantly embarrassed by the thin wobble in my voice, but he doesn't seem to mind. He nods once with a seriousness that feels surprisingly sincere. And then he leans forward a little more, resting his forearms on the table and tilting his head as if he's studying a piece of art.
His loss.
Yeah, true.
Seriously though, who picks this kind of place for a first date and then doesn't show? That's a special kind of stupid.
Yeah. And this is why dating apps are a no-go. It's a strange kind of comfort, being defended so bluntly by a stranger. I'm not sure whether to be unsettled or grateful. Are you always so candid? I ask, unable to shake the watery nerves from my tone. He simply shrugs.
Life is too short to keep playing games, and you don't get extra time for playing it safe.
Oh, I can kind of hear an accent to his voice.
If you want something, you might as well reach for it.
Yeah, there's a slight accent to his voice I can kind of hear. He pauses, holding my gaze.
Name is Rat. What's yours?
Grim, nice to meet you.
Never been here before, have you?
I scoff, morbidly amused, and find enough of my footing to respond sarcastically again. How could you tell?
The way you're dressed was my first clue. Second was the way you kept checking your phone like it's a lifeline.
Okay, way to tell on yourself for essentially stalking.
Third, you ordered a sex on the beach at a place like this. Dead giveaway.
I'm not sure what that's got to do with it, but I'd say everything else was spot on. I feel my cheeks flush hot with embarrassment, but his tone isn't mocking. If anything, he sounds almost fond. In my defense, I've never been stood up before, so this is new territory.
Well, you are handling it better than most. Some people would have run out of here crying by now.
That's kind of what happens when you start to get used to this kind of thing. But yeah. Who says I wasn't planning to do that in my car? He laughs. It's a genuine, deep rumbling sound that I can feel in my chest from across the table.
Fair enough. But here's a better plan.
He signals to the bartender with 2 fingers raised, a practiced gesture that suggests he's a regular here. The bartender nods without a question. So, is this what you do? Rescue stranded women and try to make them feel better?
I'm not trying to make you feel better.
Then what are you doing?
Talking to someone I wanted to talk to. Don't make it more noble than it is.
Okay. He leans in slightly.
How about you let me salvage what's left of your night? I can't undo the asshole who stood you up, but I can at least make sure you don't leave feeling like shit about it.
The way he said that line. Oh, I love it. Something shifts in my chest. This is exactly the kind of thing that happens in the fantasies I write. The mysterious stranger who appears at the perfect moment, the one who makes you feel like the only person in the room. I should be cautious. I should be smart. I was just stood up by one stranger from the internet. Oh God, what am I doing? Falling for some random guy's smooth words? I want this so badly, to feel wanted and to have someone look at me the way he's doing it right now. It's making it really hard to think straight. You don't even know me.
Not yet. But I know you got all dressed up for someone who didn't deserve the effort.
Well, gotta hand it to him. At least he's appreciating the effort like you wanted, so.
I know you're still sitting here instead of running away, which means you've got more guts than you give yourself credit for.
That is also true. It's kind of reckless, but hey, when you're in a mood like this, can't really blame him.
And I also know that if some guy is too stupid to show up for you, then maybe you've been wasting your time on the wrong kind of man.
The bartender arrives with 2 bottles of beer. The good craft kind, not the cheap stuff, and sets them down between us. Brett slides one towards me. I pick up the bottle just to have something to do with my hands and take a small sip. It's bitter and hoppy, nothing like the sweet cocktail I ordered before, but somehow it actually tastes really good. That's somewhat accurate.
I have a good eye for these sorts of things. Part of the job.
What job?
I'm a mechanic. Run a custom bike shop across town. You work on enough bikes, you start noticing patterns. Where things wear down first tells you how people actually ride. And what problems they tend to neglect.
Wow, that's pretty deep from just bikes. Okay, be honest with me. Do you rehearse this stuff or does it just come out of you like that? He laughs again, that same warm rumble, and shakes his head.
Nah, I just call it how I see it.
So, what do you see when you look at me? The question comes out more vulnerable than I intended. I blame the beer, or maybe the fact that this man has made me feel more in 5 minutes than my actual date managed in days of messaging. What do you mean days? It was only 1 day. Brett doesn't answer right away. Instead, he leans forward again, elbows on the table, and really looks at me. His gaze is intense, slow, deliberate, and entirely unlike my interactions with anyone else, but never leering.
Honestly, I'm not sure yet.
Okay, fair enough. The answer catches me off guard. I expected another smooth line.
You ordered a soda first. Switched to a cocktail about an hour in. That tells me you showed up planning to be responsible. You wanted a clear head for whoever you were meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But he never came. So you gave up on being careful. That's the vibe of someone who actually cared to make it work, but is tired of getting disappointed.
Yep.
The rest, I'd have to stick around to figure out.
I don't have a comeback for that one. Just a man admitting he doesn't have me figured out yet, but wants to. But this is also the power of the kind of person who sits back and observes. And it's usually the quiet ones, like me. It makes me want to let him try. My breath catches as I realize I still haven't given him a reply. You're not what I expected tonight.
Good. Expected is boring.
It is. Forego expectations. For a moment, neither of us speaks, but it's a comfortable silence, as if we are both just taking in the moment and appreciating the company. Then Rhett's lips curve into that devastating smirk again.
Now here's what I think. I think you spent way too long waiting for something to happen. So, how about you stop waiting and do something different for a change?
Like, something different.
Can't get anywhere new if you keep on taking the same roads. So, you staying here nursing that cocktail? Or are you coming with me?
Coming with you where?
Does it really matter?
Yes? It's important to know where you're going? The question hangs between us. It should bother me that the answer is no, right? Like any sane person should. I stare at his outstretched hand. This is crazy. This is the kind of thing Hannah would tell me not to do, or any normal person should. This is how people end up on true crime podcasts, yes. But something about him makes me want to take the plunge, and that terrifies me almost as much as it excites me. Before I can overthink it, I place my hand in his.
Now we're talking.
His hand is warm and steady. He pulls me gently to my feet, and I'm suddenly very aware of how close we are. He's a bit taller than me. Only a bit? I thought he would have been like really tall, like maybe 7 or 8 feet. And the leather of his jacket creaks softly as he moves. He doesn't let go of my hand right away. Instead, he looks at me with calm eyes that still burn underneath, like a promise.
You coming?
It's not really a question, it's a dare, and the worst part is, it's working. I should say no. I should absolutely say no. I don't even know you.
Then let's change that.
He leads me through the crowded bar, weaving between tables and patrons with the ease of someone who belongs here. A few people call out to him and he nods or raises his free hand in acknowledgement, but he doesn't stop. When we step outside, the cool night air hits my flushed cheeks like a blessing. I take a deep breath. Somehow, the same air that felt heavy inside now feels so free. My thoughts are still a jumbled mess of this is insane and don't let go of his hand.
Better?
It was getting pretty stuffy in there.
Yeah, it gets like that. Especially on the weekends.
He finally releases my hand and I immediately miss the warmth of the contact. He walks over to one of the motorcycles parked near the entrance. A sleek red beast that looks expensive and dangerous. Oh no. Oh no. He's not.
Never been on one of these before.
A motorcycle? No, absolutely not. I don't even have a helmet and...
I've got you covered.
He pulls a spare helmet from the storage case. Oh, of course he does.
Safety first.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a rush. The closest thing to flying without leaving the ground.
Oh, I'll bet.
But if you don't want to, that's also perfectly okay. I can just call you a cab and give you a ride home. No pressure.
Okay. I look at the motorcycle, then back to Rhett. This is the most impulsive, reckless, stupid thing I could possibly do right now. Indeed it is. I think about my apartment, clean for the first time in months, but still empty. I think about my friends, all paired off and happy. I think about the dating app guy who couldn't even be bothered to text me that he wasn't coming. I think about all the stories I've written where the heroine takes the risk, says yes to adventure, and throws caution to the wind. I think about what Rhett just said. Can't get anywhere new if you keep taking the same roads. Alright, let's do this.
You're the boss.
He hands me the helmet and helps me adjust the strap under my chin, with surprising gentleness for someone with such rough hands. His fingers brush my jaw, and I swear to God I can feel my cheeks burning beneath the visor.
You're gonna want to hold on tight. Wrap your arms around my waist and lean when I do. Don't fight it. This kind of bike is a different beast from regular models.
Oh boy, that sounds like trouble. Don't fight it. Got it.
And hey,
Yeah?
trust me.
I don't know about that, but okay. I wrap my arms around his waist like he told me to, and I can feel his muscles through the thin material of his shirt. Firm and soft at the same time. The warmth.
Are you ready?
No, yes, huh? I don't know.
Perfect. Let's go for a joyride.
The engine roars to life beneath us. A thrumming vibration that echoes through my entire body. He slowly accelerates as we make our way out of the parking lot, and then we burst forward as we hit the main road. The world blurs around us. Wind rushes past, cool and sharp against my exposed skin. The city lights turn into streaks of neon color. I tighten my arms around Rhett and press my cheek against his back, feeling the steady rise and fall of his breathing. He wasn't lying. This is freedom, and it feels amazing. For the first time in months or maybe even years, I'm not thinking about job applications, failed relationships, or expectations. I'm just here. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. We fly through the city streets, the motorcycle roaring beneath us like a living thing. Rhett navigates the roads with practiced ease, leaning into turns with a confidence that makes my stomach flip. Every time he accelerates, I instinctively tighten my grip around his waist, and I swear I can feel him smile, even though I can't see his face. We pass through streets I've never seen, even though I've lived here for years, beneath yellow street lights that cast everything in a warm amber glow. This is what I've been missing, this exact feeling. Eventually, the ride mellows. We're cruising now instead of racing, and I can actually take in the moment. Rhett leans back slightly, and I hear his voice, muffled through the helmet. Where to? The question pulls me out of my trance. Right, I have to go home eventually, back to reality. I shout my address over the wind and feel his nod of acknowledgement. Soon enough, we're turning into familiar streets, the buildings I pass every day. Rhett pulls up in front of my apartment building and cuts the engine. The sudden silence almost jarring after the constant rumble of the motorcycle. My ears are still ringing, my hands are still shaking. I'm not even sure I can feel my legs. I climb off the bike, my knees unsteady. I can't tell whether it's from the ride or the adrenaline crash. Rhett swings off after me and takes my helmet, his fingers brushing mine as I hand it over. So, was it worth it? I realize I'm grinning like an idiot. That was incredible. I've never felt anything like that. Those words do wonders for a man's ego. He's looking at me with that same intensity from the bar, like I'm the only thing worth paying attention to in the entire world. My skin feels warm despite the cool night air. Thank you for tonight, and you don't have to say anything. Sometimes the best nights are the ones that don't need words. There's a beat of silence. I should probably go inside. The night is over. But I don't want it to end. I had a good time tonight. Me too. The best time I've had, and honestly, I can't even remember. The words come out more vulnerable than I intended, but I don't take them back. It's true. Tonight feels like magic. Then we should do it again. I freeze for a split second. Really? Why do you sound so surprised? Do you think I'd do this just for anyone? I don't know. Do you? I'm half joking, but there's a real question underneath. How many other women has he swept off their feet just like this? But Rhett just shakes his head, that practiced smile playing at his lips. Nah, you're different. You barely know me. I know enough to want to know more. Smooth. It's not a grand declaration. It's not a promise, but somehow that makes it feel more honest than anything he said tonight. Most people walk into that bar and try to blend in, order whatever everyone else is having, sit where they're told. You sat in the corner in that outfit and ordered a cocktail with a straight face. Either you're fearless or you've got no idea what you're doing. Can't it be both? Usually is. Plus, you didn't say no when I offered you a ride on my bike. Most people would have. Most people are probably smarter than me. Most people don't know how to live. Okay, listen here, sir. That's not how this works. He's close enough now that I have to tilt my head back to look at him. Close enough that our noses could almost touch. His fingers softly brush the side of my cheek, but he doesn't push any further. He waits for me to close the gap. His lips meet mine, slow at first. Then his hand slides to the back of my neck, fingers threading into my hair, and the kiss becomes passionate. Oh, well, that was fast. Like he's finally stopped holding back. I want to see you again. I'd like that. Next weekend, Saturday? Is that too soon? Maybe not soon enough, but the word is heavy leaving my mouth. I think it's a safe I think it's a safe time frame. Give yourself the time and space to reflect on it all. Blah, blah, blah. Sounds like a plan. Good, I'll pick you up. 7. Wait. The realization hits me suddenly. How will he pick me up? He doesn't have my number. We haven't exchanged any contact info at all. Can I get your number so we can, plan? Sure, here you go. He pulls out his phone and hands it to me. I type my number and hand it back. He glances at it, then immediately calls me. My phone buzzes in my clutch. There, now you have mine. Perfect. I'll text you tomorrow about where we're going. Something special. More special than a motorcycle ride? You'll see. He reaches out and tucks a strand of hair behind my ear, the same gentleness from before lingering for just a moment against my cheek. Get some sleep. You've had a long night. Talk to you soon. He pulls back and I immediately miss the contact. He swings his leg back over the motorcycle and pulls on his helmet. Good night, Grim. Good night, Rhett. He starts the engine and the roar cuts through the quiet night. With one last look, those intense eyes visible even through the helmet's visor, he pulls away from the curb. I stand there and watch him go, the sound of his motorcycle fading into the distance until it's swallowed by the ambient noise of the city. I kick off my shoes and immediately pull out my phone. His number is there, saved but unnamed. I stare at it for a moment before typing red motorcycle emoji. It feels silly adding the motorcycle emoji, but also perfect. As I'm standing there stalking his empty chat, my phone buzzes with a text. After a mini heart attack, I realize it's just Hannah. You alive? Been hours since you texted. Getting worried. Guilt crashes over me. I completely forgot to update her after that initial text from the bar. She probably thinks I was murdered and dumped in a river somewhere. Oops. I'm so sorry. I'm home and safe. Long story. We'll call you tomorrow and tell you everything. She responds almost immediately, confirming my suspicions. You better. Sweet dreams. I set my phone down and head to my bedroom, already peeling off my clothes. When I catch sight of myself in the mirror, I pause. My hair is a windblown mess. My cheeks flushed. I look like someone who just had the night of her life. I look nothing like the sad, hungover person who sat in this apartment yesterday morning, drowning in self-pity and job applications. What just happened? My reflection doesn't answer, but she is smiling. I change into the same cute pajamas and crawl into bed. My body is exhausted, but my mind is racing. Next weekend can't come soon enough. I reach for my phone one more time, pulling up his contact. No profile picture, just the number and that little motorcycle emoji. Should I text him? Thank him again for tonight? Let him know I got inside safely? Or is that gonna sound desperate? But before I can, my phone buzzes. A text from Rhett. Sleep tight, next time's gonna be even better. I'm grinning again. I type back. Can't wait. Then I set my phone on my nightstand, pull my blanket up to my chin, and close my eyes. For the first time in months, I think I'm gonna get a great night's rest. Maybe real men aren't so bad after all. Maybe I just needed to find the right one, right? I slowly wake up feeling better than ever. For a moment, I just lie there staring at the ceiling, blinking as I rub the sleep from my eyes. Last night plays through my mind like a movie I can't stop rewatching. My fingers drift to my lips. I grab my phone from the nightstand and there it is, Rhett with his text from last night still on my screen. My heart flutters all over again. I read his message 3 more times. God, I'm pathetic, but I don't even care. I get out of bed with more energy than I've had in months. I go to the bathroom, and as I brush my teeth, I catch my reflection grinning back at me like an idiot. The woman in the mirror looks happy, the kind of person who lives in the moment. You even rode on a hot stranger's motorcycle last night. Who are you? After a quick shower, I throw on comfortable clothes and head to the kitchen. I'm actually hungry for the first time in days. Usually I skip breakfast entirely. Same, honestly. 2 meals a day, just lunch and dinner. I make myself a real meal, scrambled eggs, toast, and fresh coffee. As I sit down with my plate, I realize I need to call Hannah. She's probably been worried sick. And honestly, I'm dying to give her the tea about last night. I pull up her contact and hit call, sitting down at the table and taking a bite of eggs while it rings. Oh, thank God. I've been checking my phone every 5 minutes. Are you okay? What happened? You said you'd tell me everything. Hannah, breathe. I'm fine. Better than fine, actually. Better than fine? What does that mean? Did the guy actually show up? No, he didn't. I got completely stood up. What? That asshole. I knew I should have. Wait, why do you sound so happy about it? I can't help but grin as I take another bite of toast. Because while I was sitting there feeling sorry for myself, someone else showed up. No. No way. Tell me everything right now. Don't you dare leave out a single detail. And so I do. All the way to the kissing and leaving me at my door. Oh my God, this sounds like something out of one of your stories. The mysterious biker who sweeps in at the perfect moment. Grim, this is insane. I know. I keep waiting to wake up and realize it was all some elaborate daydream. So, when are you seeing him again? Please tell me you got his number and didn't just ride off into the sunset like some kind of modern Cinderella. We're planning another date, next week, probably Saturday. There's a pause on the other end of the line. Saturday, as in this Saturday? Like in 6 days? Yeah, why? Grim, sweetie, Saturday is Jordan's birthday. The words hit me like a splash of cold water. Jordan's birthday. His birthday party that he'd mentioned in our group chat. The one I'd completely forgotten about in the chaos of riding through the city like I was in a music video. Oh no, I completely forgot. We've been planning this for weeks. We're all meeting at that bowling alley he likes. The retro one with the arcade games. I pressed my palm against my forehead. How could I forget? I really fucked up on this one. But Rhett, the thought of canceling on him makes my chest ache in a way that feels too intense for someone I just met. I can reschedule with Rhett, it's fine. Jordan's birthday is more important. I mean, yeah, but Grim, I'm a little worried. About what? About last night, I mean. Don't get me wrong, I'm really happy you had fun. You deserved a good night after everything you went through, but you got on a motorcycle with a complete stranger and rode off into the night. That's actually really dangerous. Okay, at least Hannah has a good head on her shoulders about this. Still disappointed about the dating app thing, but oh well. I feel a wave of defensiveness rise in my chest. I know Hannah means well, but the way she's saying it makes me feel like a child being scolded. I wasn't being reckless. He gave me a helmet and he knew what he was doing. He owns a bike shop, Hannah. He's a professional. I know, but you don't really know him, or at all, actually. That's correct. He could have taken you literally anywhere. What if... But he didn't. He took me home safe, exactly like he said he would. Okay, but what if he hadn't? What if he'd been some creep who... He wasn't. I have good instincts about people, Hannah. I know it sounds crazy, but I felt safe with him. More alive than I've felt in a long time, actually. There's another pause. I can practically hear Hannah choosing her words carefully on the other end. I trust your instincts. I worry about you, especially after everything you've been going through lately. You've been really isolated, and now there's this perfect guy who shows up exactly at the right moment. It feels, I don't know, like a movie, and life isn't usually a movie. Her words settle uncomfortably in my stomach. I know she's right to be concerned. I know it sounds too good to be true, but maybe some good things can just happen sometimes. Maybe I'm allowed to have something exciting for once in my life. You're right, I'm sorry. I don't want to rain on your parade. You deserve to be happy, and hey, if this guy makes you happy, then I'm happy for you. Just promise me you'll be careful. I promise. I'll text Red about rescheduling. Jordan's birthday comes first. Thank you. He'll really appreciate you being there. And hey, maybe you can bring Red to the next group thing. We'd all love to meet him. The thought of Rhett at a bowling alley with my friends doesn't sit right in my head. Picturing Rhett in rented shoes, playing games with Mark, or pretending to laugh at one of Jordan's dry jokes. The image won't even start to form. Maybe. We'll see how things go. Fair enough. I have to run. Mark is attempting to make pancakes, and I don't trust him alone with the stove. Text me later? Will do. Thanks for always checking on me. Always. Love you. Love you too. I end the call and stare at my phone for a long moment, the leftovers of my breakfast having gone cold. Hannah's concern echoes in my head, mixing uncomfortably with the euphoria I've been feeling all morning. She's right to worry. I mean, objectively, riding off with a stranger is dangerous. But Rhett isn't like that. I can feel there's something different about him. I pull up his contact and start typing a message. Oh no, you're gonna give us the choice? Well, if he's such a perfect guy, then he should understand the reason behind the rescheduling. He should understand, right? What? You can't just have us choose and then it just ends like that. What? And that's where the demo comes to a close. Thank you for playing all the way to the end. It honestly means the world to me that you're here. What you just played is an early slice of something much bigger. Affictionate is still in active development, and there's so much more of the story left to tell. The full release will follow 3 love interests, each with 2 to 3 endings and around 100,000 words of their own. Everything you've seen of Rhett so far is just the start of his route. Here's the plan. Rhett's complete story launches into Steam Early Access by December 2026. The second love interest follows as a free update in mid-2027, and the third in late 2027. If you'd like to come along for the rest, here's how. Wishlist the game on Steam so you don't miss the launch. Join our Discord. Check our website for extra content, and all the links are right below. Thank you again for being here. I can't wait to show you the rest. Kindred Spirit. And here you have it. Well, I would say that's been quite a ride. I've really enjoyed that so far. I can definitely see why he said, or he was emphasizing that writers might take an interest in this visual novel, because as one myself, a lot of it was very relatable. It was easy to understand and pick up on, and I felt very engaged with it. So I have to say I'm pretty impressed with it so far. It's been pretty fun. My only criticism really is, well, I guess a certain bias towards dating apps, but I mean, this is just a story and everyone's different. And it was nice to kind of see that the characters are, how do I want to say this? What's the word? My vocabulary is failing me, but basically really fleshed out. It's easy to see the distinctive difference between them all. Like they have their own individuality, and I've really liked what I've seen so far. The one I'd probably say I'd relate to the most in terms of like personality is probably Jordan. but but yeah, they're all pretty fun, and I'm glad I got to experience this little demo. Um, Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that too. And as he said, give him all the love he deserves for this visual novel because it is truly a work of art. Once again, here's the website with the information on it. I can link it in the description of the video for you guys, as well as whatever else I feel will be helpful. But shout out to Kindred Spirit, and thanks for the opportunity to get to experience this little demo. I will absolutely be looking forward to the full release. I am definitely playing some more of this when the rest of the content comes out.